left, we're all on the same on-ramp together, so it's kind of neat. They've had a little, and Becca, yep. So it's been fun to watch them grow and develop over the years. Jana has had a big career shift in the time that she's been with us. She went from kind of working like corporate world kind of deal to working for herself and living a life that she really wanted to do versus going to work at a job that she didn't necessarily enjoy as much. And so it's been really fun to watch her go through that transition, and she's been very helpful for myself, just in getting me out of my head every once in a while, and the things that we like, our limitations we put on ourselves. She's a relationship coach now, and JanaKellam.com is her website. She helps people with their own relationships with themselves as well as with other people. She does some therapies with her beautiful horse, Jove, who I've had the pleasure of meeting and riding. And the best thing about having time on a horse is that, like, you can't have any bullshit on a horse, right? So it's like you have to, like, say it like you mean it and, like, really be authentic around him because, like, literally, like, you're on the horse and you're like, yeah, walk on. And if you, like, don't mean it, the horse just stands there and you're, like, on top of this giant animal, like, or holy horse. And so that was kind of something that I took away from my experience with Jana horses, like, is standing in our feet and what we want to do and say. So I look forward to Jana sharing Stick-to-it-iveness.
All right, cool. Well, I want to say first, I feel really honored to be here and to get to talk to you guys today about a subject that I think that there's few things more important than this subject. And the secret to stick-to-itiveness is important not just in the gym, but in everything in our life and in the way that we choose to move through our life experience here. So I want to just acknowledge that, you know, some of you may have been doing CrossFit for a long time, and some of you may have just started. And regardless of where you are in your CrossFit journey, or in other areas of your life, there's always this little, like, kind of, I call it an inner critic tape that can get started and can get, like, a whole lot of momentum built up where you're like, you know, these little kind of niggly doubts and fears and anxieties and that kind of thing where you are, you're asking yourself these questions like, you know, who am I to do this? Or, you know, why is this so hard to stick to? Or do I really want to get out of bed this morning and go lift heavy weights? Or, you know, that kind of thing where you're creating this situation that is leading you down a road that is going to take you farther away from what it is that you're wanting to experience in your life, right? You guys kind of, I've seen a lot of head nodding. This is a universal experience that people have these kind of doubts that come up. So I totally, completely, 100% have been there, and some days I still am there, but I want to tell you about my experience and how I came to learn what for me is the secret to stick-to-itiveness. And so I was sort of the poster child for not sticking to itiveness. Like, I went through my early years in school, and I was very focused and very dedicated, and I was a straight A student, and I worked really hard, and I was dancing like 1 million hours a day, and, you know, my whole life was very structured, and my parents told me what I needed to be doing, and my teachers told me what I needed to be doing, and that felt very safe and comfortable, and I was great at that. And then I graduated from high school, and I went off to college because that's what you're supposed to do, right? That's the kind of path that you're supposed to take. So I did that, and I was at one university for about 2 years, and had, I believe at that point, 7 different majors in that course of time. It was like, have you heard of this concept of bright, shiny object syndrome? Where it's like, oh, look at that, oh, that's really interesting, oh my gosh, I'm going to get so into this, I'm going to focus on this, and then it's like, what's over here? Oh my god, a leaf! Do this thing. And it was like, anytime somebody would mention a subject that seemed interesting, I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do, that's totally what I want to do. And I was just kind of all over the place. So I went to the University of North Texas, and then I moved to Boston, and I went to the University of Massachusetts, and I had, I think, 2 different majors there, and then I moved to Asheville, and I went to the University of North Carolina, and I had 1 major there, which was like kind of And here's what happened. Here's where the shift, sort of the light bulb that happened for me. I realized, like, okay, I've been in school in this thing that should have taken 4 years. At that point, about 9 years. I was just like a professional undergraduate college student at that point. And what I realized is I'm doing all of the things that I'm doing for everyone else around me. It wasn't what did I want, what was important for me, what's meaningful in this for me. It was does my friend over here think that this is the right thing for me to be doing? Or will my parents approve? Or what will society think? And that kind of thing. So I finally got to this place of like, I really need to figure out why the heck I'm doing anything that I'm doing. And that's when I realized the big why is where it's at. Like, you have to figure out what your why is. And that has to be the place that you base your decisions from. It can't be what's happening over here, what's happening outside of you. You have to, just like Katie was saying, it has to come from within. So this concept of the big why kind of hit me like a ton of bricks, and I was like, well, I don't know what my why is, but I'm going to figure out what it is, and I'm going to do it. And so that's what this last several years has been for me. It's been about that internal exploration of, why am I here? What was I put on this planet to do? How can I be of service? Because a lot of times with clients, they'll be like, I don't know what my why is. I don't even really know what that means. And quite honestly, it seems kind of selfish. Do I give myself permission to figure out what I want? What about my kids? What about my husband? What about my friends? What about my parents? Whatever it is that you kind of give your power away to. So I use this analogy. When you ride on an airplane and the flight attendants give their little safety session where they're like, here's the things that you have to do. So they talk about if there's a shift in cabin pressure, the things drop, the masks drop out of the thing, and what do they tell you to do? First. Put it on yourself first. Why? Because you can't help anybody else. You cannot possibly be of service to anybody else if you're not breathing, right? So you put it on you, and then you put it on your children. You put it on you, and then you put it on your elderly grandmother who's traveling with you. You put it on you, and then you put it on the people around you who may not be able to do that for themselves. So it's the same concept. You can use that same concept in all of your life, right? You have to do for you first before you can really benefit anybody else. So I started doing for myself first, and then I realized there's this whole kind of inner realm where we have these questions that we're always asking ourselves. And if we're asking ourselves what I refer to as low-quality questions, then we're going to keep moving in this direction, in this sort of low-quality direction. And the reason for that is that our brains are like magical problem-solving machines, right? So you want to put your brain to work solving problems, answering questions that are going to be of service to you and to others, ultimately. But if you're asking yourself questions like, why can't I do this? Why do I always quit doing things? Or, how come everybody else can do this and I can't? Those kinds of low-quality questions, then your brain's going to go kick into gear and start answering those questions for you. And you're not going to like the answer that your brain gives you. It's not going to feel good, It's going to be stuff like, well, because, your mom, did everything for you when you were a little kid, or whatever whatever your story is. And that's like just a very disempowered place to live from. The other option is what I refer to as high-quality questions, which is putting your brain to work for you, on your behalf. So it's very often questions that start with what or how. So what is important about this to me? How could I do this in a way that would make me feel better, that would allow me to be of service, that would allow me to feel fulfilled or happy or excited or in love or whatever the thing is, so that your brain can go into problem-solving mode on your behalf. so that your brain is working for you instead of kind of against you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I want for you to think about it in really basic, like straightforward, like it's three steps. The first step is you have to realize what it is that you're thinking. What are those questions that are running through your head? What's your inner tape loop? So you recognize it, that's step one. And step two is you have to make a decision to shift that way of thinking. So you have to be willing to say, this isn't serving me, what would serve me better, right? And that's already a higher quality question. What would serve me more? And then your brain can go, oh, okay, what would serve me more? I don't know, maybe let's try this, and let's try this, and let's try this. So that's step two, making that decision, starting that shift. And then step three is you make decisions in your life based on those higher quality questions, based on what's fulfilling for you, what's meaningful for you, what your big why is. And then once you've started making those decisions from that place, it's like you build up this momentum, and all of a sudden things are kind of happening in this really magical way. And you're like, when did this start happening for me? And it's because you've shifted really everything once you've made that decision, once you've gone through those three steps. So that's my contribution for you guys today, and I have been so moved and so honored to be part of this community, this amazing CrossFit land that we're so fortunate to have in this community. So I wanted to offer to you, as my contribution and based in my why, if you are interested in continuing this conversation to discover your why, I'm going to pass around a sign-up sheet, and you can just throw your name and email or phone number or whatever on there, and we'll have a conversation. It's totally free and no obligation or anything, but I love doing this work. This is my big why, is helping other people to come into their fullness, the fullness of who they are. So I'd like to offer that to you, and if you have any questions or if you want to just kind of talk offline after all the presentations today, I'll be around. So thank you so much.